It's a nice calm day on the farm here today. I finished collecting the bales, get them wrapped and get them stacked.
I have a real tidy up.
We generate some nice income by selling some tomatoes.
And we go and cut some goddamn grass again.
Welcome back everybody. Now before we get on with anything, I need to give you an update on the farm. Now at the end of last month we still had a fair whack of things to get on with, so I took the time as the evening was drawing in to finish off mowing our meadow to ensure that we could still collect the grass and silage it in time for the December-January sell point. So as you can see, I whipped around there with the tractor, collected that grass and baled it. So today we do still need to head back down to the meadow and do some wrapping, but that job at least has been done. Now the other job I managed to complete just in time before the sun set was to weed our field. I wasn't sure whether or not I would have time, but my concern was if I left those weeds too long, then our mechanical weeder just wouldn't work and we'd be stuck with weeds, because at the minute we still don't have any way of spraying our crops. So that's where we are. The next thing to show you is the thing I know you're all very keen to see. There's not much to show you here apart from the state of the equipment, which is all in disarray. We will get to tidying that up a bit later. But if we pan left, we will see the changes made to the farm. Lots of things have taken place in October. Let's glide our way over here in drone cam. First things first, we haven't actually touched the chickens. They are still where they are. They're happy and they can stay. But where we used to have the original sheep barn, that's now been moved. That took a bit of work, but it's all been done. The next thing was to carve out a huge slab of rock to make sure we could get our second sheep pasture in the back there. Now I think things are looking rather interesting. There's lots of rock. It took almost all month to do that, but it's done. We can get our sheep out of the trailer and into our two fields, and they can be happily getting on producing wool. Now sadly the situation is we are running at a bit of a loss here, almost £2,000 in the negative, so we do need to get some cash in the bank and fairly smartish, but I think you'll appreciate things are looking very good. Let's jump down and get a look on the ground. So on the right hand side here we now have a area to load up for water, so we can actually bring the bowser down here, the tank, have that parked up permanently and only pull it out as and when we need it. To the right hand side we have our new area where the honey will be collected, and that's doing quite nicely on its own little patch of concrete out the way, not causing any issues whatsoever. The new sheep barn is fairly self-explanatory, and if we come up this new fenced off area, we have a nice view over the edge. Now of course we may get to fencing this at some point, but with budgetary constraints what they are, people are just going to have to be careful not to fall in there. It's only really me and Dusty up here, so I can't see it being a huge issue, but up here, if I just get close enough to the edge, I don't want to go too far. There we go, that's as far as I'm willing to go. Yes, we get a lovely view of the homestead. Now it is November, it's 9:30, the sun is just starting to come up, but it's only just got light enough to start recording. But I think things are looking nice. I think we'll see some growth. The patches here beneath us where we have a few rocks that we just could not get rid of will slowly grow, we'll have vegetation growing, and I think things will mature quite nicely over the coming months. So first job is to get the sheep out of the trailer and into the pastures. Right, engine on. Dusty's in there. Right, Dusty, can you lower the trailer, please? There he is. Good old chap. Right, once that's lowered, a bit more, Dusty. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, it's got a camera in the back, you see. Right, let's get those sheep out. And they are looking very happy. Little lambs, some adults in there. Very nice indeed. Right, Dusty needs to then pull this forward and then we can get those unloaded by the barn. Think a bit more, Dusty. Hold on, let me get round the back. Yeah, a bit more, Dusty. Bit more. Bit more. Bit more. Whoa! I'll get that unloaded and get some sheep into the barn. And this one we've got 5 adults, 5 lambs, so that's all looking quite tidy. I'm going to go, well, Dusty can take the truck back actually. He can go and return that to his friend Hans. And I'm going to check that the sheep have enough food and water. We do need to make sure that the pasture has water. There is a trough already in the barn. So I'll deal with that while Dusty's returning the truck, and then we'll regroup here for the next task for the day. The barn now has grass, so that's all looking good. And I've dropped some, well, I've dropped a bale over here, so they've got grass. We just check the trough, yeah, that's all good. So I'm going to go grab the bowser and fill this one up with water. Alright, Dusty, did you thank Hans when you dropped off the trailer?
Yeah, and I offered him a kickback, but he weren't interested. I'll do the guy a favor along the road. He ain't that bothered about stuff like that.
Yeah, that was real nice of him, Dusty, I must admit.
I'll buy the guy a beer. That's the least I can do. So what's the plan for today, YouTube guy?
Well, first things first, I want to have a bit of a tidy up. The machinery all needs putting back. It needs probably a bit of a wash. There's a whole bunch of pallets and bales and everything else that just needs tidying up after all our landscaping work. So we'll get that done first.
Right on.
The next thing I want to do is go back down to the meadow and finish wrapping the bales that I finished at the end of last month. Now I know that's not a job you like, so you can leave that to me.
Yeah, Christ, that's boring.
Well, you say that, but one of the things I did want to do today was have a look at contracts, and I know there's a mowing contract, possibly some cultivation. We'll have a look at that in a minute. For now, can you get the bowser and fill up the water troughs, and then make sure that the water's fine in the greenhouses as well?
I can do that right away.
I'm just looking at the amount of crops we're getting out of our greenhouses, and I thought, oh, I'll just have a look on the, the old prices. And for tomatoes, now is the month to sell. So I'm glad I looked at this. It's November. The maximum price, it says it gets to around 16.13, but right now it's 16.23. As soon as Dusty has filled up the sheep with water, he can grab all the tomatoes we've got in stock and go and sell them down at the supermarket. And Dusty's just finished filling up the Aquatrans there, 100%, so he can go and head over to the sheep, get them watered, and then finish the job up on the greenhouses. I just noticed where Dusty is, it's really quite precarious. That bad bit of concreting we did early days underneath the greenhouses is a bit of a slope. If that tractor was to slip off with that weight behind it, that is going over into the ravine. Yes, I think we might have to put some fence posts up there. Pretty smartish. And Dusty, when you go up past here, can you just grab the wrapper and take it down, and then when you come back up you can bring the trailer?
Okie dokie.
Even up here it's a mess, there's stuff everywhere.
Looks like you've been busy, computer guy. Great work.
Cheers, Dusty, appreciate that.
While I'm at it, might as well take the wool down to the spinnery.
While Dusty's off, let's have a quick look at actually what he's got on board. 7,000 litres of tomatoes and 2,100 litres of wool. Fantastic, brilliant. Right, I wonder how much we're going to get for that. I have no idea. I could sit here and calculate it, but I'd rather just be surprised when we get down to the supermarket. Don't kill that woman. Don't kill. Well done. Oh, she stopped just in time. Dusty nearly ran that woman over. Or was it a chap? I couldn't see. No, it looks like a chap actually. Sorry, chap. Dusty's just going to pull this onto the ramp and hopefully we can get it on. Trying to reverse these 3-point hitches is an absolute pain. That's nicely done, Dusty. Still going. £14,000 sold there. We just got two, one at the front and one at the back. See the cash counting up here, 13 grand, So we're back in the positive, which is fantastic. That last one's going to go, that last stack. And we'll just pull forward. Just so we're in the catchment area, there we go. And then we'll have a quick look at the finances and just see exactly how much we've sold.
I feel it's a good haul.
Yes, Dusty, I agree with you. Let's have a quick look at that.
Okay, computer guy, what's wrong with this picture?
What do you mean, Dusty?
Well, take a look. What did we come down here with?
Well, we came down with tomatoes and... okay. Crap.
Yeah, crap. We sold the wool. We really wanted to put that in the spinnery.
Yes, we absolutely did, Dusty. Okay, never mind. My mistake. I should have told you to take that off first. I completely forgot that you can sell wool directly at the supermarket. That's a pain. We've just made about 16 grand, but we would have made way more if that wool had gone into the spinnery. Well, I am a bit annoyed at myself there, ladies and gentlemen, I must admit. I just didn't even think about that. Automatically selling the wool to the supermarket. Well, we live and learn. Anyway, I'm just cracking on now. I've just picked up the weeder because this field and the one on the very top of the hill needs a quick weed. So I'm just going to deal with that. Dusty's gone down to pick up the fabric that's come out of the spinnery in his truck, so he'll be back here shortly. And then I'm going to start to wrap and collect the bales down on that bottom field on the meadow. One final strip down the middle of this field and then we'll be done, and then I'll head up to the top. One thing I forgot is that the weeder does actually take away the grass surrounding any fields as long as you've got it down. So that's, if I did want to have a tidy up but not necessarily have to mow, then that's something I could do. I must say, although I was annoyed at myself for selling the wool, I was actually quite chuffed at the 14 or so grand we got for all the tomatoes. So that's a really good sign for when we come to sell the lettuce in, I think, December or January time, that there's a real opportunity for some profit there. Right, there we go. You can see it's pulling away the weeds and the grass at the same time. And that's fine, it just means we've got a nice tidy edge around the fields if I let the weeder overlap ever so slightly. Right, I'll get this done and I'll see you back momentarily.
Now I really do bite my lip sometimes. I like Computer Guy. He's a nice fella, but sometimes he just don't think. He really ain't got a clue when it comes to farming, and he certainly knows diddly squat about livestock. Still, we all gotta learn on the job, that's for sure. Well, that ain't a bad load. I'll get this back up to the homestead and get it stored in the barn. We can sell this later on.
Right, well I feel I'm done. That's a pretty good job, I would say. Let me go drop off the weeder back down below, and the next thing I might do is start having a bit of a tidy up just to get things organised before we head on to our next big job of the day. Having dropped off the weeder, I decided it's time to do some wrapping. The thing is, we can move things around and tidy up the homestead anytime, including at night if needs be, but doing field work is so much easier to do during the day. So I'm heading down to pick up the wrapper and I'm gonna go get this whole raft of bales wrapped and loaded and onto our stack. Now I must say that stack at some point needs to move. Whether or not I do it now and have to move it again, I just don't know. But it is a bit in the way in front of the sheep barn where it is at the front of the homestead. But we'll deal with that later. I think by the time I get around to actually doing anything about it, it'll be time to sell them anyway. So let's just get this job done now and get everything loaded up. I'm about 3/4 of the way around. Let's just pick up a few more. Not long to go. And then I'll just need to get these loaded up and down to the barn. Right, just whizzing around. I think that's it. Oh no, there's one more there hiding next to that one. That's the last one. Job done. Fantastic. Right, back to the barn. Well, it looks like Dusty's back with the fabric. Brilliant job. We'll get that offloaded up at the little store we have at the top of the hill, and then we can move on to the next big job, which I think, now that the bales are in, is going to be, well, a bit more baling actually. I think it's time to take on a contract and get some cash in the bank. That's the fabric offloaded. I'm just bringing up the lettuce. As you can see, Dusty is just about to head down and pick up, well, sorry Dusty, I've left all the equipment in the way.
You're damn right you have.
Sorry, yeah, he's going to go pick up the eggs and just get everything else up from the lower part of the farm, just to keep things tidy as we move into winter. Dusty's doing sterling work, getting everything packed away, ready for selling day. I'm just going to go pick up these wrapped bales and get them back down. And then I'll go and help with the last few bits, eggs and honey and odds and sods. Now that is a tidy sight. We have got a nice stack of eggs, a lovely stack of honey, I think that will go for a cool buck, and of course 3 lovely pallets of perfectly coloured fabrics. Excellent, can't wait to sell all that lot and see how much we can rake in. Let's just take a look at this lovely trailer, fully laden, so that will start to ferment. And that'll be ready to sell come December, January time for a nice big payday. Excellent work. Well done me. Pat on the back. We had this issue before. The Landini is strong and it's a great machine, but it just hasn't got the power to pull this amount of silage. And that's fine, as long as I stay on the roads and it's flat, then I can just about get there. Now, I'm going to have to find a place to dump this, because I really don't want to have to put it right in front along with everything else. I'm running out of space. At some point in the future I'd like to get a proper barn. I need to speak to Dusty about that. All expenses we need to agree on. But there we go. I think we will just stick it here for now alongside the rest. That's as good a place as any. If I just hop up on the back of the trailer here, you can see the status of our silage. I wonder if I can actually... I used to do this as a kid. Jump on top of the bales. Yeah, we've got a real rack here. There's a little tiny bale there in the middle. That was obviously one of the early mistakes. Yep, up here. So I think, where's my torch? In my pocket. Yes. So yeah, I think this is good. I think we're going to be in for a nice juicy payday, and I actually think that silage might be how we make our big bucks. I'm just going to get everything strapped down here. I just need to make sure that none of this equipment goes walkabout while we're on the way. Let's get one under there if I can. There we go. So we've got the baler, the windrower and the tedder. The mower is already hooked on the front. That's all piped up, hydraulics are in, all good. Desperately needs a clean this, but hey ho. This will probably be the last job we do of the season in all fairness. Right, checking the straps. Yeah, right. So we are going to go and do a contract. See you there shortly. Well, here we are then, down at the very northern tip of the map. Coming up to field 1 on the right hand side. Just need to find a way to get into that field. We've reached the very edge of the map here. Let's have a think. Dusty, I think you're going to have to turn around and back up.
Yeah, I think I missed the turning.
You know what, Dusty, sorry to be a pain, but I think we've got to go all the way around. We can't cross the railway line here.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay, so let's have a look where we are. So that's the field beyond. Does the track run down there? Right, Dusty, over to you. When you get fed up, give me a shout and I'll take over.
Okay, I'm fed up.
No, not yet.
Oh God.
Okay, just get on with it.
Okay.
Just this last little strip for Dusty to finish here, and then there's a couple of bits around the corners where he's kind of taken a circular route. Tidy those up, and then we can get the windrow out and the baler and start the arduous task of baling. And Dusty seems to be happy, just pushing on. Okay, well, I'll let him get on with this. I'll meet him back here in a minute. Oh, I think Dusty's almost done here. Another row, maybe 2, and I think that's it. That's not a bad looking field. We've just now got to hook up the baler and get this whole lot baled. The sun really has set now behind the mountains. Panning the camera around. I think by the time we're all done for the day and we're cashed in, I think it'll be time for bed. That was a great job there, Dusty. Thank you very much for doing all that, mate.
You're welcome. Now I'm gonna leave you to load this all on the trailer. I feel like I've done my fair share of grass work today.
Yeah, I think you have. I think you have, Dusty. Cheers. Okay. Yeah, all looking good. Oh, that, ladies and gentlemen, is one hell of a stack. I've managed to get that on there. I am absolutely maxed out on my tension straps here. I cannot get any more length on these ratchets. So I'm going to get this over to the, I think it's the animal dealer. I need to sell this off to complete this particular contract, and then I think it's bedtime. I'll have to come back and pick up the equipment in a minute, but just bringing up the HUD on my screen, 135,000 litres on this trailer. I'm surprised the axles haven't just disintegrated. Need to take it very cautiously around these bends. I do not want this thing to topple over. Oh, I can feel the trailer pulling there. Right, catch me up in a minute once we get to the animal dealer. Well, we're almost there. Just whiz this round the back, unload, and then, well, we'll see what we get. I think it's $5,000 for this particular job. We may get some surplus on these bales, which is always the benefit of doing grass jobs, but we'll see. Nice. A $9,000 bonus. Lovely way to finish the day. Everything's loaded. Everything's strapped. I think it's time to go home. Thank you for joining me again today. I really love this series. I think it's got such potential to continue on and on. Dusty one day may become a millionaire. It's a long way to go. There's still plenty to do on the farm. We've still got lots to sell. We've got winter coming up, which, I don't know, that's going to be less of a challenge this year, but winter around these parts is a challenge regardless. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Give the video a thumbs up as always. It's so helpful just to get those likes. Subscribe if you like this content. I have a plan for a new roleplay series coming soon. That's a little bit of a teaser there, so keep your eyes peeled. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.